You guys, happy Wednesday. This is April the 9th, and today I'm talking about guilty pleasures. This is kind of a weird topic because, for a long time I really cataloged things that, societally we should be ashamed to like as guilty pleasures, but then I've read a couple of really great articles and I tried to find them because I thought I had bookmarked them so I could leave them down below about how, like, terming something as a guilty pleasure kind of like, it kind of takes away the impact of things that give us pleasure, and anything that makes us happy is not something that we should be guilty about. So, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to talk about things that, make me really happy, that maybe are not things that most 30-year-olds really get into and dig, per se. You guys know I read a lot of young adult literature, and I would say that's probably a guilty pleasure as far as my reading habits go, but, I really like fantasy, and I know that's a pretty broad genre, but I really, really dig dragons. So, like, I have, How to Train Your Dragon's one of my favorite movies, and I have a lot of, stuffed animals that are either book-related or movie-related in some way. So, you know, I have a lot of stuffed animals that I kind of collect. I have mumps, which, if you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, or Alyssa, you've probably seen we have matching elephants, which mine is, yeah, he's right here. We have the elephant from Rudolph, and I take him with me on trips and Instagram him in various places, especially if Alyssa's not with me, so I would say that's definitely one. Social media is kind of a guilty pleasure. I have not been as engaged recently as I was previously. The past few years I've really just been dealing with random stuff at home, and like work has been really intense, so there are fewer instances of like marathoning a television show on the weekend and live tweeting that than there was in the past. But I love to get online and like scroll through Tumblr or look at people's Instagrams and look at Twitter and see what people are doing. So I love social media, and I am really happy that that's a thing that is accepted, and it kind of lets us like meet people that aren't close by. I live in a small town. There aren't a lot of human beings here, especially people who have the same interests as me. So I think that the internet is great for that, and I really appreciate that outlet. Another guilty pleasure is Harry Potter. I've been a Harry Potter fan since I was in high school, and I read the first book, and I have loved it for basically, I feel like my entire life, but for the majority of my life. And I go to LeakyCon in the summer a lot of times, and that in and of itself is probably a guilty pleasure because it's not super expensive compared to other like cons, but it's really awesome, and it's a chance for me to go and see people that I really like, that I don't get to see regularly. So that's always really nice. Another guilty pleasure is being barefoot, especially outside. I never wear shoes, and my grandmother's convinced that that's why I stay sick, even though generally it's just my allergies that make me seem ill. So, but like once it gets like, it's officially spring, so when I come home I take my shoes off, and sometimes before I get home my shoes are off while I'm in the car, and if I have to go outside, regardless of how warm it is, I will be barefoot because I love to feel the grass beneath my feet. Another apparel guilty pleasure is maxi skirts. I work and there's a dress code and we can't wear denim, and dress pants aren't comfortable, so I love maxi skirts because they look really cute, but they basically feel like you're just not wearing pants, which is the best thing in the world. Like if you hate wearing pants. But, what else do I have in my queue of guilty pleasures? As far as like TV and stuff goes, I feel like what I watch is pretty mainstream. I watch a lot of Food Network, but obviously that stuff's pretty popular, so you know, I don't worry about that as much. And then like I watch a lot of stuff on Hulu and Netflix, but it's either like sitcoms like 30 Rock that I missed when they were regularly on TV, so I'm catching up with them, or Freaks and Geeks, or things from like my childhood, like we've been watching Saved by the Bell a little bit. I do watch My Little Pony with Aaron a lot, and I like My Little Pony quite a bit. And then like on Hulu I tend to keep up with Bones and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and other stuff like that. As far as movies go, I really like book adaptations, but I also like action movies and superhero movies. I love Indiana Jones, and sometimes when I am just feeling gross, I'll just watch Indiana Jones, because nothing makes you feel better than fighting Nazis with Sean Connery and Harrison Ford. So that's always good. I also do this thing, though, where, like, Alyssa was kind of talking about it yesterday, or maybe in her magazine video. In one of her videos, she talked about this, where sometimes you just don't feel great. It was yesterday, and she talked about going to Starbucks, which I love Starbucks, too. But, you know, she was talking about how when she has a gross day, she just goes to Starbucks and kind of hangs out. I do something similar, but I have movies that always make me cry. And sometimes I just feel like I need to cry. Just to get my emotions out. I'm a crier anyway. Like, I cry when I'm happy, or when I'm sad, or when I'm mad at something, or frustrated. Like, all of my emotions generally lead to tears. And so, like, there are certain things, though, that I know are going to make me cry. And so sometimes when I feel like very emotional, but I can't get those emotions expressed, I will watch things that I know are going to send me into, like, tears. I actually watched Frozen this past weekend, and, like, texted Alyssa and was like, well, we're 5 minutes into this movie and I'm sobbing hysterically. So, that's kind of a guilty pleasure, though, because, that's not something generally that is looked upon as, well, I mean, I don't even know if people do that. If you guys watch something that you know is going to make you cry because of the cathartic feeling of sobbing uncontrollably, let me know in the comments. But other than that, like, I don't read very many magazines. I sometimes get people style watch. I do kind of have, like, a habit of buying books. Like, I like to own books. As you can see, I have one whole bookshelf in the back, and then I have two others that are the same size as this bookshelf, and they're all completely full. And then I have a short bookshelf with, like, old books that I don't even know why I have them. And then I have a bookshelf beside my bed that's narrower. But I have a ton of books, and, like, I can't go in a bookstore without buying a book. It's kind of a compulsion, and I order books a lot of times, and so I guess book buying is also probably a guilty pleasure, because, again, it makes me feel really good and really happy to know that regardless of what's going on, there's a consistency with that. Like, there will always be a book that I can buy, either on an ebook platform, or I can order it on the internet and it'll be here in like 3 days, or if I'm actually at a physical store, I can just go buy a book and I can own that book, and that there are very few things that are going to change that. So, those are random guilty pleasures, I know, but, you know, you guys feel free to make a video response to, I guess, Alyssa's video or this video, either one. Tell us in your comments what your guilty pleasures are. I would love to see them. Oh, another one is travel. I think travel is a guilty pleasure because I can't really afford to travel very much, but I also like to take the opportunity to do that whenever I can. And I'm really hoping, my grandmother's been sick the past few weeks, and so I haven't done very much, even though the weather's getting nice, but I would kind of like to take, like, some ninja trips this spring and summer, and just take a weekend a month, and either just do a day trip, or go and stay overnight, like on a Friday or a Saturday night, drive somewhere close by that has a lot of cool stuff going on, and just stay there, because I love to visit places and experience them, and I feel like a lot of times we just end up in, like, the same 6 cities and doing the same things, like going to a mall or, you know, walking down Main Street, but it's a place that we've been to like 500 times, so I'm trying to broaden those horizons and travel a little bit more while I'm still young. So anyway, that is the actual end of my guilty pleasures video. You guys feel free to comment or video response for either of these videos, and I will see you guys again on Friday. Bye!